What's up everyone, this is MrKingLiam here, and today you join me for another one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles. And today we're actually looking at a deck profile which I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, but I was waiting on the ban list, so that's the reason why this is a little bit delayed. But still, this is a very fun deck profile that I've been using, and it is the Sacred Beasts deck profile. Now, a couple months ago I did the Egyptian God card deck profile, and that was it's really that's a fun deck to use, but this is definitely a lot more consistent than the God card deck profile, and I'll explain why when going through it. So let's go through the video. First off, we're running 2 Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder, pretty much the best Sacred Beast in the deck. So normally it's 3 continuous spells, so it's 3 continuous spells, but there is other ways to bring out, which I'll explain in a minute. If this card is destroyed by opponent's monster by battle and if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. It's got 4000 attack and 4000 defense, so it's pretty good stats. While this card is in face up defense position, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. So it's also a bit of a barrier as well. So overall, pretty good Sacred Beast. Next up, we're running Raviel, Lord of Phantasms. This is the easiest of the 3 to get out. Just like Obelisk was similar as well, which was like the best one. Overall, this is definitely the easiest to bring out because it requires 3 Fiend type monsters. That isn't too hard in this day and age. If your opponent normal summons a monster, special summon 1 Phantasmal token, which is 1000 attack and 1000 defense for each monster summoned, but it cannot declare an attack. Once per turn, you contribute 1 monster. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of the tributed monster until the end of the turn. Now, it has been a few weeks since I used this, so I can't actually remember if you can actually tribute the token. But yeah, that second effect is a little bit like an Obelisk effect, where you contribute monsters to gain a boost. Whether Obelisk is destruction, this one is attack. And just like Raviel's got 4000 attack, 4000 defense. Sorry, Haman I meant to say. And the last one is Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames. So this needs 3 face-up trap cards, but there is another way, which I will get to in a minute. This card gains 1000 attack for each continuous trap card in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can target 1 set spell / trap your opponent controls, destroy that target. Neither player can activate spell / traps in response to this effect's activation. So it's just a way to clear some problematic cards in the field. It's not quite as good as the other ones, you probably will go for these ones more, but it's just a nice option to have another target. Now, each of these have their own specific summoning method, but I said there was another way to bring them out, and this is why. Dark Summoning Beast. Now, this card was introduced in Duelist Saga last year, and it is really, it is a really good card for the Sacred Beast. So you contribute this card, special summon 1 Uriah, Haman, or Raviel from your deck or hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. Also, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Dark Summoning Beast once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Uriah, Haman, or Raviel from your deck to your hand. So it's a searcher, and it's also a way to bring out the Sacred Beasts. So pretty much this is a much more powerful Ra's Disciple. Except, yes, you can like instant summon. So it's a searcher, and it has like a Redstone of Ancient effect. I probably got that name wrong, I have to admit. But yes, there's also some tricks you can play with this, so you can actually get these out faster. But I'll get to that in a minute. Next up, we're running just a couple of staples. Dark Grapher, so you can send Dark Summoning Beast to the graveyards, and then you can use its effect. Then you have I always have trouble pronouncing that first word, so I'll just call it Street Patrol. So it's another dark monster, so if this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original level of that monster times 100. You You can banish this card from the graveyard, special summon one fiend type monster with 2000 or less attack from your hand. So this is another way to get out Dark Summoning Beast. Then you've got Black Rose, Zephyros the Elite. It's pretty easy to get this out, so most of the time it just comes in handy for rank 4s, or if you want to use Raviel's effect. Then I'm running 3 Armageddon Knights, once again to send Dark Summoning Beast to the graveyard. 2 Summoner Monk, just in case I need to get a rank 4 out. Phantom of Chaos, this card is really fun in this deck, and yeah, it comes in pretty good handy. So your opponent takes no damage from attacks involving this card, but that's not the main reason you run it. The main reason is, once per turn you can target one effect monster in your graveyard, banish that target, and if you do until the end phase, this card's name and original attacks becomes the monster's name and original attack, and replaces this effect with that monster's original effect. You must control this face-up card to activate and resolve this effect. So basically what you can do is just you can banish Dark Summoning Beast from the graveyard, activate, gain its effect, and then you can special summon one of the Sacred Beasts. And that it says your opponent doesn't take battle damage, but it doesn't matter because you won't be able to attack anyway because of Dark Summoning Beast. So yes, it's really quite amusing to run Phantom of Chaos in this deck. And finally for the monsters, we're running 2 Battle Fader just in case of a defensive option. So there's the monsters. Now for the spells, I'm running 2 Allure of Darkness. I'm only running 2 because most of the times I actually want to get my dark monsters on the field as quickly as possible to get their effects, such as Armageddon Knight, Phantom of Chaos, and Dark Summoning Beast. So that's the only reason I run 2, but it does come in handy. Next up we just got some of the staples: Regiki, reinforcements of the army, Soul Charge, Upstart Goblin, 2 Terraforming for the field spell, Foolish Burial, once again Dark Summoning Beast in the graveyard, 2 Twin Twisters, and the field spell Fallen Paradise. Now this card is another very good addition to the Sacred Beast archetype that they introduced last year. So your opponent cannot target Uriah, Haman or Raviel, or Armatile the Chaos Phantom in your monster zones with card effects. Also, these monsters cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you control them. If you control Uriah, Haman, Raviel or Armatile in your monster zone, you can draw 2 cards, so as another draw engine. You can only use this effect of Fallen Paradise once per turn. So that's another reason why I'm only running 2 of Lord Darknesses, because Fallen Paradise gives you a draw engine anyway when you control one of the Sacred Beasts, and it's not exactly that hard to bring them out. So yeah, it's quite a good combo, and it's less of a cost than than a Lord Darkness, and it protects your Sacred Beast from card effects. So yes, that can definitely prove a little bit tricky for your opponent. And finally we're running the traps, 1 breakthrough skill, just a little bit of a random choice I admit. Obviously there's some other trap cards such as Solemn Strike, but I don't know, breakthrough skill, most of the time you're just going to be having 1 or 2 cards on the field, so can also help with the card's negation as well to protect your Sacred Beasts. Then we're running 2 Escape from the Dark Dimension. This is a way to get back Dark Summoning Beasts to the field, so that's another way to get a search effect and then bring it back, so basically recycling. And finally 3 Call the Haunted, once again just to bring back some monsters like Dark Summoning Beast. So effectively the deck mainly revolves around Fallen Paradise, Dark Summoning Beast, and the Sacred Beasts. Sorry, Dark Summoning... Oh yeah, no, I said that right actually. So that's the main deck. The extra deck is not really that much. I'm running 1 Armatile the Chaos Phantom. Now this doesn't need polymerization, so that's why there isn't one there. So you need all 3 Sacred Beasts on the field. It is actually doable. I have actually done that once or twice before, where you have actually got all 3 of the Sacred Beasts on the field, because it is actually quite easy to spam the field with Sacred Beasts sometimes. So yes, Armatile cannot be destroyed by battle. So when Fallen Paradise is out and when Armatile is out, that might be a game over for your opponents, pretty much, unless they destroy Fallen Paradise first. And its other effect is this card gains 10,000 during your turn only. So it can't be destroyed by battle, and with Fallen Paradise can't be destroyed by card effects, so that could be a very lethal combination right there. And just for the other cards, I'm running a Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon because I pretty much run that and everything with rank 4s. Number 101, Silent on the Arc, and number 82 because we do have the Fallen Paradise field spell, so it allows me to perform direct attacks. So overall, this is a pretty fun deck, I'd say. Yes, the support they gave Sacred Beast last year was really good, and actually it's pretty cheap as well. The Sacred Beasts are probably the most expensive thing in the deck. Oh, actually no, that's a lie. It's probably Twin Twisters at this point because its last reprint was a year or two ago, so it's probably gone up a bit. But overall, this isn't too much of an expensive deck. I think it's just the Sacred Beasts and Twin Twisters and maybe Armor Tile, I don't know. But overall, I'd say it's pretty budget. Also, these were just a few of the other cards I was running at one point. I was running another Street Patrol, another Zephyros, Summon the Monk. I think 3 would have been too many. Another Chaos Phantom just to muck around with the shenanigans of using Dark Summoning Beast. Another Effect Vader, a Lord Darkness. Transmodify. Now this one was a bit of an intriguing one because like you can send one face-up monster you control to the graveyard, special summon from your deck one monster higher with the same type and attribute. So at one point I was using Phantom of Chaos and then using that on Dark Summoning Beast, but I think just getting Dark Summoning Beast to the graveyard is a better option. Foolish Burial Goods. I'm not. Oh, that was mainly for like sending cards to the graveyard just to try and power up Uria. Then we have Mound of the Bound Creator. It works with level 10, so I tested it out. Breakthrough Skill and Safe Zone. Now Safe Zone was a little bit of a lockdown engine, but I think overall this is a pretty good build. So there was a look at my Sacred Beast deck profile for May of 2018. Like I said, it has taken a little bit longer than I hoped to bring this deck profile out, but that wasn't because the deck profile was ready. Sorry, it wasn't because the deck profile wasn't ready. It's just because I've been waiting for the ban list just to see if anything would get hit. So that's the reason it's a little bit delayed. So anyway, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to help support MrKingLiam, then please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/MrKingLiam. And also, if you enjoyed this deck profile, then make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to know when my newest deck profiles are coming out. And also leave down in the comments what changes you'd make to this deck profile. I hope you've enjoyed this deck profile, and for now, this is MrKingLiam, signing out.